What is the neuroscience behind behavior? Have you ever wondered why you feel happy when you hear good news or why your heart races when you're scared? The brain is responsible for these reactions, and the study of how it controls thoughts, feelings, and actions is called behavioral neuroscience. Your brain has tiny cells called neurons that send messages to each other, similar to how you send texts to friends. These messages are carried by special chemicals called neurotransmitters. Different parts of the brain have specific jobs, like helping you move, remember things, or decide if you're happy or sad. For example, when you see a spider, your brain quickly sends signals to help you react. Maybe you jump or step back. When you eat chocolate, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine that makes you feel happy. Scientists study these processes to better understand how the brain turns thoughts and emotions into actions. Essentially, behavioral neuroscience explains how your brain helps you smile, cry, or even run away from something scary. Understanding how the brain works can also help experts find better ways to treat mental and physical health challenges. Will knowledge from neuroscience about the brain and human behavior make psychology better? Yes, learning about the brain through neuroscience can definitely help make psychology better. Let me explain it this way. Think of neuroscience as doctors studying how the brain works, while psychology is more about understanding why people think, feel, or act the way they do. They are like two puzzle pieces that fit together. For example, when doctors learn how different parts of the brain affect feelings like happiness or sadness, psychologists can use that information to help people feel better. Imagine if you hurt your knee. Knowing which muscle needs help makes it easier for a doctor to fix the problem. In the same way, knowing how the brain works can help psychologists give better advice or treatments, like therapy. I think this teamwork between neuroscience and psychology will bring new ideas and discoveries. Maybe someday, instead of long therapy sessions, there could be faster, smarter ways to help people solve their problems. But change will be slow because many people are used to doing things the old way. Still, I'm hopeful that understanding the brain will make life better for everyone. What is the relation between human behavior and neuroscience? Think about how the weather and science work together. In theory, scientists can explain weather using physics, but it's hard to predict exactly when it will rain. In the same way, the brain should explain all our behavior, but it's so complex that it's difficult to figure out every small detail. Our brain controls everything we think, feel, and do. Different parts of the brain do different jobs. For example, the prefrontal cortex helps us make decisions and control impulses. Imagine if you wanted a candy but knew waiting would earn you 2 candies later. Your brain helps you make that choice. Another part called the amygdala is like a warning alarm for fear and anger. It keeps you safe by making you feel scared of dangerous things. How does the brain send messages? Neurons, tiny cells in your brain, talk to each other using special chemicals called neurotransmitters. These chemicals affect how we feel and act. For example, dopamine makes you feel happy when you accomplish something, and serotonin helps keep your mood calm and balanced. Hormones, which are like chemical messengers, also play a role. Think about how your heart races when you're scared. That's your body responding to these signals. In the end, genetics and evolution also matter. Your genes are like a recipe for how your brain and body grow. They can make you more likely to feel shy, confident, or even anxious. Evolution plays a role too. We are naturally scared of dangerous things like snakes because our ancestors had to survive such threats. Understanding the brain is fascinating, but it's just one part of understanding why we act the way we do. Feelings, experiences, and the environment matter too. So the brain is only part of the big picture. If we perfectly mastered neuroscience and understood the neurosynaptic complexes behind our behaviors, in what way would that change our life? If we perfectly understood how the brain works and what causes our behaviors, it might not change everyone's daily life dramatically. Most people don't really think about the fact that we are made up of atoms or that biology is just chemistry. People care more about their feelings, relationships, and experiences, not just how brain cells and signals work. However, for doctors, psychologists, and scientists, this knowledge could be a game changer. It might help create better treatments for mental illnesses, improve learning methods, or even develop new technology to help people control emotions or memories. Imagine being able to fix sadness or anxiety the same way we treat a broken leg. But in terms of culture, religion, and traditions, people would probably still hold on to their beliefs. Science might give us more answers about the brain, but many things that make life meaningful, like love, creativity, and purpose, aren't only about neurons and brain signals. So while mastering neuroscience would be powerful for medicine and technology, it might not drastically change how we live or think about life. How does your brain affect how you behave? Think of your brain like a powerful computer that controls everything you do, what you think, feel, and how you act. Different parts of the brain have different jobs. For example, one part helps you make decisions, another controls your emotions, and yet another helps you move your body. These parts work together like a team, sending messages back and forth through tiny cells called neurons. Imagine you're really hungry. How does your brain know? Neurons send signals to tell your body it's time to eat. That's just one example of how the brain influences behavior. Your brain doesn't only work on physical things like hunger or movement. It also helps you feel emotions like happiness, sadness, or fear. If your brain didn't send the right messages, you might not react properly to the things happening around you. But is it just the brain that decides how you behave? Not really. Your environment and experiences matter too. What you learn from your family, friends, and surroundings shapes your choices. If someone teaches you to be kind, you may grow up being helpful and caring. Think of it this way. The brain is like the hardware of a computer, and your experiences are the software that helps the computer work better. Both nature, your brain, and nurture, your life experiences, come together to shape your behavior. So, neuroscience helps us understand both the brain and how it works with your experiences to make you who you are. Did you know your brain is like a muscle that can change and grow? For a long time, scientists thought that once you became an adult, your brain stayed the same forever. But now we know that's not true. The brain is always changing, making new connections and pathways based on what you learn, experience, or even if you get hurt. This amazing ability is called neuroplasticity. So how does this work? Imagine you're learning to play a new game or memorize directions to your favorite place. Your brain creates new roads or pathways to help you get better at these tasks. One cool example comes from taxi drivers in London. They spend years learning the city's maze-like streets. When scientists looked at their brains, they found that a part called the hippocampus, which helps with memory and navigation, had actually grown bigger. But this didn't happen for bus drivers who only followed set routes. Does this happen to everyone? Yes. Musicians, for example, also show changes in their brains because of practice. They develop stronger areas for hearing, movement, and memory. The more they practice, the more their brains adapt. This discovery is super helpful in medicine too. Doctors now use brain training to help people recover after injuries like strokes or to treat mental health problems. So remember, every time you learn something new, your brain is doing a little workout and getting stronger. Cognitive neuroscience. Is thinking a form of behavior? Imagine actions like talking, running, or raising your hand. But thinking might actually be a type of behavior too. Let's explore this idea together. First, what is behavior? Behavior means anything you do that can be seen or measured. When you speak, jump, or even smile, that's behavior. But what about thinking? You can't really see someone's thoughts, but scientists know your brain is hard at work when you think. Special machines like brain scanners can show parts of your brain lighting up when you solve a math problem or make a decision. Now, how does thinking connect to actions? Imagine you're deciding what to eat for lunch. First you think, pizza or sandwich. Then, after thinking it through, you choose pizza and eat it. Thinking led to action, which makes it a step in the behavior process. In fact, scientists who study the brain say thinking involves important brain processes like memory and decision-making. So even though we can't see your thoughts, they're a key part of what makes you behave the way you do. Next time you're deep in thought, remember, you're still doing something. Thinking may not look like behavior, but it helps shape everything you do. Can neuroscience help us change our behavior for better outcomes? Yes, it can. Neuroscience is the study of the brain, and it helps us understand how our brain works and how it affects what we do. Scientists have learned that we can train our brain to behave in better ways. For example, if we want to be more patient, We can practice exercises that help us control our reactions and make smarter decisions. This can lead to better choices in life, like being calm in stressful situations or thinking before acting. How can this help humanity? Imagine if everyone learned to use their brains more wisely. People could think before reacting in anger, make logical decisions about their future, and work together better. This could lead to less fighting, more cooperation, and stronger relationships. In the future, we could even make decisions based on what's best for everyone, not just ourselves, by using our brains more effectively. This could make the world a better place for everyone. So, is thinking part of behavior? Yes, thinking is part of behavior. What we think affects how we act. When we learn how to control our thoughts, we can change how we behave. This can lead to better choices, better relationships, and a better future for everyone. In conclusion, our brains are amazing and play a huge role in everything we do. From thinking and feeling to acting, the brain controls it all. We now know that we can train our brains to improve our behavior and make better choices. Imagine if everyone learned to control their thoughts and emotions, we could have more peaceful relationships, make smarter decisions, and work together better. Isn't that exciting? So, how does the brain help us live our lives? It helps us think, feel, and act. And with the help of neuroscience, we can understand how it all works. The more we know about how the brain functions, the more we can use that knowledge to make our lives and the world around us better. Let's keep learning and growing because our brains can change and get stronger every day.